Every time I pick them up, I'm like, yes, yes, so floppy. Oh, what the fuck? Huh? Whoopsie daisy. Where in the fuck is that book? God damn it, come here, bitch. And, you know, I fucking hated the goddamn book. Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel, Jashawn here, to talk about some friggin' book series in a tag form. I believe that Mara is the originator of this lil tag. That is who I saw doing it. I don't think I've done this before. I don't know. Did she just come up with it last year, maybe? I'm not sure. I'll have her video linked below, obviously. Some of my answers, I'm kind of like, I don't know, I guess. I definitely do not read as much as Mara, for one thing, so I have less options. And also, I didn't complete very many series this year. Whoopsie daisy. It's fine, whatever. Let's just get into the questions. Number one, what is the best series that you caught up with this year that is still a work in progress? So this series is continuing on. There is not a final book yet, but I got caught up with it. And that would have to be, I'm gonna go with the Rise and Fall series by Michael J. Sullivan. Book 1, Nolan, came out last year, and I had not gotten to it yet. And then Fairlane, Book 2, came out this year, and I read both. So I'm now caught up, and I loved it. So yay. Always great when that happens. Number 2, what is the best work in progress series that you are still catching up with, or the best completed series that you are still catching up with? I went with the former part of the question, a work in progress series that I am catching up with. Where in the fuck is that book? God damn it, come here, bitch. I went with the Lady Hardcastle mystery series. I read the first 2 books this year, loved them, they're so fun. There are currently 8 that I own, and then the 9th book is coming out, and I don't know how many there's going to be, but I don't think number 9 is the last one, maybe, I have no idea really. But yeah, I'm still working on this. These are kind of good books for in-between kind of larger fantasy things, I think. They're quick, fun, pretty lighthearted, they're just cozy mysteries, and they're hilarious. So, yay. Number 3 is, what was your favorite first book in a series this year? I did read 2 first books in a series that I gave 5 stars this year. One of them, though, it was a NetGalley e-arc. That book doesn't actually come out until next year. So I'm gonna go with The Final Strife by Sara El Arifi. I actually read this twice this year also. I read it, and then a few months later, I buddy read it with a few people, but someone was buddy reading it. I think when Ingrid and Elle both read it, we buddy read it together, and yeah, I reread it, and I just love it. 5 stars. I thought it was so great. I'm so fucking jazzed for book 2. Oh my God. Number 4, what is a first book in a series that you read this year that you think should have just been a standalone? I don't really have an answer for this because, again, I didn't read that many first books in series. And this was Mara's answer, and I can't really say yet because I'm still currently reading this book, but I have heard that it basically is could be a standalone. They're kind of more companion novels than part of a series. Empire of Sand by Tasha Suri. So maybe I'll go with this, but I'm not done with it. I'm 30% of the way through, so I can't really say. So I don't really have an answer for this. Number 5, what is your most overhyped series of the year? Okay, this one, I actually really enjoyed this first book in this series, and then did not enjoy the second one, but Jesus Christ, I mean, because of the author, anything that this author writes is, it's overhyped. If you love it, that's great. I'm glad you love it. I even enjoy some of her works from time to time, and I'm talking about Sarah J. Maas. But I'm sorry, man, this series is, it was so overhyped. It wasn't fun, guys. It wasn't fun. It's not good, okay? If you love it, awesome. But quality-wise, that book is not good. And this one even has so many things that could be changed, should be changed. Hundreds of pages that could be cut out. We could edit further here, but we didn't. I still enjoyed this first book, though, despite all of that, knowing it. I still love it, but man, that second book, Jesus Christ. But it's just the way that she is just overhyped all the time. It's wild. It's wild. House of Sky and Breath had no fucking right being on any kind of best of the year list. But Goodreads, I know, is more of a popularity contest than anything, and that is why her books are always the fucking winners. What is a series you DNF'd this year? I mean, so many. I DNF'd like 10 or so series this year, I think. But the one I most recently DNF'd was their Vampire Queen series by Joelle Sue Burkhart. I read the first 3 and I just didn't care anymore. Number 7, what was your favorite series finale of the year? Or what was your least favorite series finale of the year? I went with my least favorite because I really liked the first book in this series. Felt okay about the second one. I liked it still. I did. I really liked it, but there were elements that I was like, okay. But man, the third book, it was a struggle. It was a struggle for me, and I actually technically DNF'd it. I read, what'd I get to, 70% of the way through? Kashils Chosen by Jacqueline Carey. I was over it. I was so over it at that point. There's so much of this series that is so great, and there's for sure an audience for the entire series. Chris, over at Chris's Bookish Cauldron, he just loves this series. Like, from front to back, beginning to end, just adores it, and a lot of people do. Very, like, heavy political fantasy, high fantasy. Yeah, it's this larger world with all these political machinations going on. But yeah, by the third book, there were just elements that I was not loving, and I was like, it's becoming tedious for me, so I gave up. All right, number 8, what was the biggest cliffhanger you had in a series this year? And, you know, I fucking hated the goddamn book. Just one of the worst books. Writing-wise, storytelling-wise, character development-wise, that I've ever read in my entire life. But, admittedly, it did have a fucking huge cliffhanger. Whether or not you liked that cliffhanger, you know, it varies, but House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. Huge fucking cliffhanger at the end. Just like what the fuck? Huh? Like, that cliffhanger is the only reason that I am even thinking about maybe, potentially, getting that book from the library to read, or like getting the audiobook to listen to. Otherwise, I would be like, fuck no, I don't give a shit at all. And I really don't still. I might just read like a synopsis or have someone I know who reads it just tell me what happens, because, oh God, I can't do it again. I don't trust her to stick the landing. I don't trust her to have had a pretty solid first book for me and then a 1-star trash heap and then pull it together for the fucking end. I don't trust her. Number 9 is, what is your favorite spinoff series this year? I don't read, I don't know, man. Again, I don't read as much as Mara, so I don't have as many options. I'm like looking around. I don't feel like I've read very many spinoff series in general. The only thing I can think of that, like, it's not a spinoff though, but it's just in the same world. I mean, I guess these books, the fucking Nolan and Fairlane, the Rise and Fall series, like, it's not a spin-off, it's just like part of this world, and it's a different time period in the world. And the same thing goes for The Adventures of Amina al-Sarifi, where by Shannon Chakraborty, that I got the NetGalley and arc and read. I loved it. It's not a spin-off, but it is set like clearly in the same world, just a very different time period. Like, very different time period. So those are the only ones, and I loved both of them. So number 10, what is your most anticipated next book in a series that you read this year that will come out next year? And that has to be book 3 of the Burning Kingdoms series that I hope is going to get published next year. It might not be until 2024, but I hope it does. But yeah, I read The Jasmine Throne before, And then I read The Oleander Sword this year, and I'm very excited for book 3. But one that I know is coming out next year, unless something changes, but currently it is set to come out next year, is book 2 of the, oh God, what is this one called? That's the Burning Kingdoms, and that's like something fire. Ending Fire? The Ending Fire trilogy, yes. Book 2 of the Ending Fire trilogy. The Battle Drum is coming out next year, and I cannot fucking wait. God, I hope it's good. 11, what is your most anticipated series to catch up with next year based on what you read in that series this year? Or what is the series you're most excited to stay caught up with next year based on what you read in the series this year? I mean, both of those could be an example. The Lady Hardcastle series. Yeah, I don't know, those. I'm gonna go with those. 12, what is your favorite series that you finished this year? I mean, I only finished like 3, and I didn't necessarily love any of them. So I think I have to go with the Rhaeria Revelations, I guess. I didn't rate this particularly high. I mean, okay, I gave it a 3.5 just because it had some wonky pacing. God, these are so floppy. Every time I pick them up, I'm like, yes, so floppy.
Can you pick me up? I'm scared.
Anyway, I guess I'll have to go with this. I did still like it. Like, overall, I like the series. I mean, it's Michael J. Sullivan. I love this world. I love all the Easter eggs. Like, that was the most fun part for me, so. 13, what is your favorite episodic series of the year? And I'm a dumbass because I'm kind of like, what does that mean? That, I think it's more referring to, like, you know, like romance books, like series that, right? Is that what it is? I don't know. So maybe the Lady Hardcastle series? Is that like, or like Monstrous? Where it's like comics, graphic novels, you know? I don't know.
I'm an idiot. Leave me alone.
14, what is a series that you finally bailed on after holding on to it for a long time? Fortuna Sworn. I had read the first 2 books, 2 years ago? Maybe? I don't know. 2019 or 2020 or some shit. And I think. And I quite enjoyed the first one. The second one was kind of like, oh, okay, I don't know. And I thought I would continue, but over time, I just realized, no, I don't actually give a shit. 15, what is the series you were most surprised that you liked this year? I mean, I don't know that I was super surprised that I liked anything I liked this year, was I? Why am I'm like looking around like this. I guess maybe the Lady Hardcastle series. It sounded cool. I mean, I picked it up because I thought, oh, maybe I'll like that. And I really did. I think I was just surprised with how much I liked it. I love the authorial voice. 16, what is the series that you meant to catch up with or finish this year that you didn't? Oh, well, several, if we're being honest. But the big one that, like, I'm just so annoyed with myself because, I mean, technically I only have 1 book to read. But it's been so long since I read the other 3 books that I'm going to just start over from the beginning. But yeah, it's like I've been wanting to do this for a hot ass minute. This series, the Cemetery of Forgotten Books series by Carlos Ruiz Zafón, and The Labyrinth of the Spirits is the last book that I haven't read it. It took many years for it to get, because he's a Spanish author. He has since passed away. But these are originally written in Spanish, so they're translated works, and it's just historical, it's just historical fiction, really, but there's like very gothic and a little like creepy horror-esque stuff in one of them that I remember. I don't remember if there's like kind of magical realism happening or not. I cannot recall. But yeah, I'm very excited to finally pick this up and get to it and apparently break these spines, because these are UK editions that, yeah, you like, that's as much as I can like open it. I have to like, yeah, I'll have to break the spines, which I will. I don't mind breaking spines. But anyway, yeah, that one. Also, another one that I meant to this year and did not was Game of Thrones. Years ago, I've said this many times, I did read the first 3, but I listened on audio before realizing that's not the best move for Joshana, listening to a high fantasy series on audio for the first time reading it. So I wanted to go back and just start over and read them physically. 17, there's another one with like 2 options. I'm going with what is a series you finished this year that you think is greater than the sum of its parts? Again, I didn't finish that many series, but this is a good one for that. The Rhaeria Revelations. I didn't love any individual book. I didn't give any of them 5 stars, and I think I might have given the first one 4.5 or 4.25, did I? Yeah, I did give the first one 4.5. And then the second one I gave like a 4 or 3.75 or something. And then the third one I gave a 3.5. So I didn't love it overall, but the series, what it was doing, what happened in it, all of that I do enjoy, and I do enjoy the world and all the Easter eggs, like I said. There we go. Those are all of the questions. So, yay, I'm done. I feel like that was very helter-skelter, and probably, I mean, as usual with my tags. I'm like, I don't know this book, I guess, because I don't know. I'm just like all over the place, I feel. Not very organized with my thoughts. I'm hoping next year will be better for me as far as completing more series, catching up on more series, starting series that are already fully published so that I can marathon them and just finish the series. That's a big goal I have. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.